It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obi-Uchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're just about a month away from the official start of the campaigns for the 2023 general elections. But things are already starting to look very heated and interesting. Governor Wike of Rivers State, I beg your pardon, is still very much in the news. Everybody seems to still be courting his attention. We did see the PDP presidential candidate return to Adamawa State to a lot of fanfare and excitement. All of the presidential candidates seem to be, sort of watering the flowers for now. While getting ready for the 28th of September when things will really heat up. A lot of talk has started going into the fact that promises have been made already by the candidates, whether it's by the presidential or governorship candidates or whatever level of government. People are used to election promises, but the one thing that people are not used to is how to hold government accountable to those promises that they make. And that's what we're going to be talking about today on the show. It's the one thing, or I think the missing link with the Nigerian electorate. How do we hold our leaders accountable to, their duties, their promises, their mandates to the Nigerian? Sorry, we're joined by Joyce Daniels, who's a social engineering practitioner. Thanks for joining us, Joyce. I want to ask you, is this a problem with the Nigerian citizens who don't know how to hold government accountable? Or is this a structural issue where, like he said, even if you try to hold government accountable, the institutions don't work?
Thank you, Ebuka. Thank you for having me. I think it's a bit of both. And we can even link it back to our culture of what we call power distance. That's the ability to speak to people who are, as it were, older or ahead. So in our culture, as is not only bound to us, it's across the world. We typically don't have children who can question parents about parents' decisions. If you ask your parents certain questions, you get some lashing, right? It's difficult to question your teachers about solutions that they prefer in classrooms. So it continues into the larger society. Even in the religious organizations, it's difficult to question your religious leaders. It's cultural first, and then it goes into the larger society. That's why even when we set up structures, the mentality that we live with daily affects how we interact with the structure. So someone who will not respond to their teenage child at home is wondering why Nigerians are asking him or her questions, as in, what's wrong? What's wrong with these people? So it's one affecting the other. Can it be fixed? Yes. But that's the answer to your question to start with.
So I hear you on the cultural side, and of course there's also religion. There's a lot of, which is why you go to events and there's always my Lord spiritual and temporal. We seem to hold certain these figures on such a level that it's almost like they can't be questioned. But I hear you on how culture seems to be affecting that. But we also seem to be at a time where we talk about Gen Zs, and the young people are a little more vocal now. We've had the Freedom of Information Bill, which has become an act and law now for a couple of years. Is it accessible? Is it something, do you see the culture in any way changing? The NSAS protest continues to come to mind, but was that a one-off move, or do you think Nigerians are now at a point where, we just don't want to hear promises anymore, and that culture might start changing?
I see that it is gradually changing. As with anything, it will take some time with the right amount of effort, which I see is being put in. We have organizations like Budget, like SERAP, who are structurally helping the accountability process. And then with the advent and democratization of social media, it is getting easier. So we see a document come out where certain amounts of monies were appropriated for bush clearing. And in a matter of 20 hours, it's all over the internet. Every WhatsApp group has it, and people are now asking questions. It might take some time to be more systematic, but it is happening. It is going on.
Okay. Joyce, I want to talk institutions now, and just government as a whole. And one thing that recently comes to mind, of course, is the release or the amnesty granted to former governors who were in jail for corrupt charges. I think the governor of Taraba State, and so A lot of Nigerians wonder, okay, this is the one occasion where we actually went the whole hog, went to trial, got someone convicted for actual corruption. We don't see that very often. And then a few years down the line, they're giving full amnesty, and there's even talks about one of them probably even running for Senate in the next elections. And is that talk about accountability? You see stories like that and you wonder what's the point anyway, don't you?
It's saddening. It's saddening. And we can convert the sadness to some form of energy to propel us to continue in the direction that we are, which is asking for more accountability. The thing is, don't let sadness to convert us to hopelessness. Let it give us more energy to continue to ask and to want to be in the space. It's difficult to cook in a kitchen that you are not present. It's difficult to change a system that you are not a part of. Let our sadness and anger cause us to become part of the system and try to fix the challenges that we see. It could be disheartening, but at the same time, let us convert that anger, that energy to action to continue in the right direction. Well, the fact that they were convicted in the first place, we can hold on to that and say, okay, that helps. We have a few other members of the National Assembly who had some challenges and are incarcerated right now. We can hold on to these few pieces and say, okay, well, gradually it's happening, and then we keep going. It's difficult to write sentences when you can't even mention letters. So we're on the way there.
So Joyce, now I want to ask about elections, and I'll still come to you, Rajidi, so you think about that as well. We're in election season now. 2015 was quite the year of promises by candidates. There was promises of security on the economy, and Nigerians kept saying, oh, don't worry, if they don't perform, in 4 years we'll vote them out. We know the state of security now. We know what the economy looks like right now. We're back there again. We have candidates already starting to insinuate a lot of things that they're going to do. What should Nigerians be thinking about at a time like this before we start thinking about holding them accountable whenever they get into office? But at this point, where we start hearing promises, what should we have in our minds?
Ebuka, what should we have in our minds? Wow. First of all, let's try. And I say that with every sense of responsibility, appeal, try to be objective, much more than being emotional. Yes, we are emotional beings, and almost every decision is made on an emotional level. We need to make the effort to come back to who is saying what, why are they, what's track record. So let's try to be objective, ask questions. Let's also try to be involved in spaces where we can interact with these candidates to ask our own questions and keep the proof and the evidence of responses given, because these are the things we will use in accountability later or for accountability. One thing is, if you don't have a material to hold on to personally, you might just not have the energy to go with it. You say, yes, they've come again, but are you more involved in the process as well? And I say this because if you're trying to get a job, you put every effort in to get that job. You get your CV if you think you can be part of the solution. So some of us, you and I, we think we can be part of the solution. Then try and get into those campaign organizations, those places where the conversations are being had. Try. Make sure your voice is heard, in that you would say, I can do this. This is how I will be part of the solution that you are saying you would prefer. So that by the time we get into office, I can also be part of those who are making it happen. It seems like a tall order, but guess what? People are doing it and it's working. So let's all just try.
Joy, same question to you. Like I said, the campaign seems to be overshadowed by a lot of tribe and religious talk. But like I said, campaigns are not fully started, but I've already started hearing phrases like, I can fix Nigeria, or I can fix the economy, or I will unify the country, Pretty broad statements, but pointing to a direction of promises already. Maybe not as elaborate as we heard in the past, but are you sort of encouraged by the messaging so far?
On some days, yes. On some days, I ask more questions. Because personally, I just know how to try to keep hope alive, because I believe that I'm also going to be part of the change and transformation that I seek. So yes, there is some hope. To add to what the previous speaker said, one way we can help the process is, don't do things alone, please. Find others who who are feeling what you feel and speak as a wolf pack. It gives us more energy, many times better direction. But when we ask individually, on our WhatsApp groups, we're not asking, we're losing energy, we're losing steam. So if you have an association of, say, fashion designers that you belong to, or architects or lawyers or bakers, together as a group, be a part of the process so that you can ask the question as a group as to what concerns you. If different groups like that begin to ask more questions and show up, I think it gives more strength, it gives more hope.
We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Now it's time to show
Well, I think we're all looking forward to the campaign season, especially to start. And then we'll probably start understanding what's happening. I mean, right now it looks like there's a lot of noise, but not from the candidates yet. And we're hoping. Anybody wondering if debates are effective? Do you think debates work? Joyce, do you agree? Do you think they're working?
Help. If not anything else, they would help us decide. Those who did not show up for debates in the past are those who did not deliver on their promises. So that should be a guide to us now. Those who will not show up, we already know those should not be the people to take our votes. Then we know what we're up against. So that's one thing to hold on to. Debates will also help the candidates clarify their thoughts, because some of them who thought they could fix the economy like this or fix security, when questions are being asked, might take another step back to think, which is good for us. Because if they're able to refine their thoughts and get better processes in better strategies in place, then we all will win together. So debates do help. I look forward to debates. And one way we can help is sponsor these debates. They're expensive. So individuals, groups, collectively can be a part of it by sponsoring debates on different levels, national, state, and local.
Well, thank you very much, Joyce. Thank you very much, Rajidi. We're all keeping our fingers crossed. We're just about a month away, and hopefully the campaigns are most importantly peaceful. I think that's what everybody wants. We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show